It's the Billy Revolution. It's up to you. Billy Revolution. Here's what you gotta do. The Billy Revolution. A quadrilateral grow under your chin, not in the center though, 'cause it's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution. Billy Revolution. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 12 of the Billy Revolution. Today we're going to be talking about and looking at the Platitudinal society. That is the society that gets a lot of its thinking generated from platitudes. And the first thing I want to say about platitudes is they are probably a very easy way of finding truths that help us not to think. And it's not a question of sort of a rampant intellectualism that we're looking for, although it's interesting as well when we just think about things often and want to have a debate or a conversation with some thinking, some developed arguments, some support for why we think that. We can not all the time certainly, but often people will say that we're intellectualizing something. They'll thank us for intellectualizing. But if we're not intellectualizing in the way that I mean it, I think what we're doing is we're choosing not to think. We're choosing to have very simplistic ways of analyzing what it is to be a human on this planet. And I think that in a time where there is so much available, so many resources available. I mean, we often think about the early printing presses and how we've slowly been able, in developed countries and other countries as well, we've slowly been able to create this body of knowledge, this body of art, body of literature, of thinking, and it's accessible. And now, interestingly enough, these things are even more accessible with the internet. Not that I think the internet's good that way, and I don't think that this accessibility is necessarily increasing anyone's intellectual powers or interest in getting to some of the more fascinating questions about existence. But it is true that it's available. Now, how many people are availing themselves of it, is neither here nor there. Platitudes, especially when directed at children, and it's something that I've noted in our society. We're sort of in a period still of motivational speakers, people getting up in front of crowds and telling people how to be, and it can't be very significant for the children, because children already have an innate sense of some of the depth of existence and some of the depth of thinking that is required to sort of contemplate some of the basic tenets of existence. And I think that what we need to really be wary of is the simple truths, the places where we're all nodding. I think if you're in a room and there's 100 people and 100 are nodding, or 1,000 people and 1,000 are nodding, or 10,000 people and 10,000 are nodding, then there's either something wrong with your room, the people in it, the way that your society allows for disagreement and dissension. And I think that one of the ways we've been able to get so far down this unfortunate hole, especially in the States and in Canada, our growing fear of interpersonal aggression, is that we have become the society that talks in platitudes, that gives platitudes as answers for things as if there's something concrete about something that other people have said for a long time. Now, does it mean that all platitudes are faulty or don't have grains of truth? No, I think platitudes that survive always have grains of truth in them. I think that the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Haste makes waste, and many other platitudes and many other turns of phrase that are popular. I think they exist and are repeated and become cliche because there are grains of truth in them. But I think there's something more than just grains of truth in them, and I think that there was a theorist who a human psychology theorist who believed that we sort of have an adult self and a child self, and that a healthy upbringing for a child would start nurturing that adult self at 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 years, so that some of the things we think of as more adult-like are something that a 3 and a 4 and a 5-year-old are already capable of doing. And some of those would have to do with being able to intellectualize concepts and intellectualize not in a bad way, not in the way that we use intellectualize, but think deeply about some of the things that are meaningful to existence. And I think we're living in an age where adults are forgetting to pass this on. We're living in an age where the wisdom that has come from before is not shared. Not only are the younger people not maybe receptive, although I think it could be argued that they're hungering for it, and instead the media, the corporate media, jumps in there and gives them all sorts of ideas through their little screens instead. In fact, I would suggest they are hungering for it, and that is one of the reasons it's important for the media corporations to get in at little minds as early as possible, so that they are on that drip rather than granddad's drip. But I think that we're not passing along. We're not we're not taking the responsibility that is those of us who are older and as old as me, plus much older, that have gleaned things from living. So I just think that we can all stop using platitudes. We can all stop getting caught up with them. We can be playful with them, but they shouldn't be the final word when we're having conversations about things that matter. I hope everyone has a wonderful, interesting, and intellectual week ahead. Thanks for listening to the Billy Revolution. We are here because there is a huge shift going on right now in the way that humans are interacting, and I am very concerned about it. Have a great week. Thanks.
You and I are quite alike. You drove your car, baby. I brought my bike. You know that it is such a funny game when we pretend we're just the same.
David loves stuff. David has many antiques from his family. He's got family heirlooms, things that mean a lot to him, that he treasures. And he looks after these things and really enjoys having them. And he considers himself a materialist. Peggy loves things. She goes out and buys new things all the time. Loves replacing things when something new comes out. Has so many things she can hardly keep track of them. She considers herself a materialist. They're doing the same thing.
It's the Billy Revolution. It's up to you. Billy Revolution is what you gotta do. The Billy Revolution, a quadrilateral grow under your chin, not in the center though, 'cause it's the Billy Revolution. It's the Billy Revolution.